I've got another set of tarot exercises for you. These will help you to bond with your deck and unlock the meanings of the cards, kind of expand them, can help you learn the basic meanings as well, and really help you develop your intuition and some fluency around seeing multiple cards on the table during a reading. I call these exercises tarot recipes. I have another video where I share some exercises that are specifically around creating like mind maps or creating connections between the cards. These are going to expand on that a little bit, but I'll link that video down below. I have 4 exercises in this video. I have cooking, substitutions, flavor categories, and meal planning. The first 2 are all about making connections and building your intuition and fluency in a reading. The last 2 exercises are more about like playing with your cards and seeing them in new ways. The meal planning exercise will also help you to build stories with your cards, which is a powerful tool when you're doing readings. So let's get started. The first exercise is all about cooking. You're going to take 2 ingredients, add them together, and then they make a third thing. This helps you build connections between the cards. It helps you see reflections of other cards within other cards. It helps you kind of unlock your intuition a little bit about them. And it just helps you bond with your deck and get to know the cards and the imagery in your deck a little bit better. So I've got 3 examples to show you of how this cooking would work. So I'm going to do 2 ingredients and then what they become when we mix them together. The first ingredient is the 6 of Swords. This is a card about leaving, escape, walking away from things that are not working for us. Then we've got 8 of Cups as our second ingredient. Similar card. This is also about walking away. I often think this is like bringing a tower moment upon yourself because something is not working and you're not going to put up with it anymore. And so you're leaving. You're making a change. And if we mix these 2 together, we cook them, we get death. These are reflections of this. You add them together and you get the ultimate leaving, the ultimate letting go, the ultimate walking away. Okay, I've got 2 more. I did this one again with 3 cards, but you can do more than 3. But the point is, however many ingredients you have, it equals one thing in the end. So my first ingredient is the King of Swords. This is someone I think of as being very logical, very good with their words, very controlled. They are really not emotional. They're not going to be swept away by their emotions or somebody else's. Very grounded, very strategic. Next ingredient is the King of Pentacles, another very grounded card. He is a provider, a protector, very controlled as well, very in the material world, very much about health, wealth, the body, the career, the home. Mix these 2 together and we get strength. I think these 2 kings in particular work with strength because strength to me is all about controlling like the animal within, but also not being too tamed. I think that the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords would also help you stay big, stay out there, even though you're tamed, and they are very resilient type people, very resilient energies. Okay, let's do 1 more cooking. For this, my first ingredient is the 3 of Pentacles, a card all about cooperation, collaboration, sharing your expertise, seeking the expertise of others. We've got the 8 of Wands, all about forward movement, quick movement, and put those 2 together and we end up with 6 of Wands, a card about success, acknowledgement, you know, a milestone has been reached and you're being appreciated for it. So I think about this as like the ultimate teamwork. We're working together, but we're not using that collaboration as a way to not move forward. We're still moving forward toward our goals. And with that, we get the acknowledgement. We've reached a goal and we can feel really proud of it. All right, that is cooking. The next one is substitutions. When you're cooking and you're doing substitutions, you're using ingredients that are very similar to one another. They're not exactly the same, but they will you can make do with them in a recipe. So I'm thinking about butter and olive oil can often be substitutions for one another. So with your cards, you're going to do a similar thing. You're looking for cards that have a similar meaning. They are not exact meanings, of course, but they could be substituted for one another. They're close enough or have portions of the meaning of one, and so you could, swap them out in a reading and they would essentially mean the same thing. Okay, for my first one, I have the Two of Cups, which is often seen as a card of love or romance or intimate relationships. And I'm going to substitute it with the Lovers, which I have to be very discreet about showing you this card. So the Lovers, one meaning of the Lovers is also those sorts of commitments, those romantic commitments toward one another. And so these two cards, that they are not exactly the same, there are aspects of each card that could substitute the other in a reading. We have the Knight of Swords, who to me is just impulsive, fast-moving, forward-moving, ready to go at any point, and you could substitute your Knight of Swords with the Eight of Wands. Also about movement, also about moving forward, moving, right? So that's the core meaning. When you make these connections, you're essentially finding one piece of the meaning of each card that you could replace for the other. But of course, in a reading, there'd be much more that you could take from them, but there is a core piece that's a good substitute. Okay, I have two more for you. In this one, we have the Hanged Man and the Two of Swords. Each of these has waiting for knowledge, possibly, like don't have enough knowledge to make a choice. Here, waiting for that knowledge to come. We're not taking any action with either of these cards. We're stuck with each of these cards. And to me, they both feel like they're about our intellect and our knowledge. One more substitution. In this one, I have Temperance and the Two of Pentacles. And the meaning I'm going for here is balance. This one is maybe more specifically around priorities, but we've got the idea, right? We've got these two chalices, these two pentacles, and we're weighing them. We're trying to balance them. We're trying to move between them. And so they can be reflections for one another and be a bit of a substitution. These next two exercises are a little bit more involved, and they're more about helping you to strengthen your bond with your deck and give you a chance to see the cards in new ways. All right, this exercise is about flavor categories. In this exercise, you are going to go through your entire deck and you're going to separate it into 4 piles: sweet, salty, bitter, and sour. And so each card in the deck is going to need to be categorized according to those flavors. I found a couple in advance just to speed this up. I'm not going to do the whole deck, but just want to show you some examples. But I would recommend when you do this, you take out your deck and you go through all of the cards, categorizing them into these 4 categories. So the first thing you might want to do is decide what sweet and salty and bitter and sour mean to you. For me, sweet I just chose as like the happiest cards in the deck. Salty, I thought of the ones that are grounding, that enhance life in some way, because for me, salt is a major flavor enhancer. For bitter, I chose the cards that are kind of a tough pill to swallow, the ones that really don't taste good. And for sour, I chose the ones that are bright and maybe energetic, a strong personality, strong experience, that sort of thing. Now, keep in mind, this is personal. You get to do this the way you want. So I'm just showing you my example, and really only a couple cards in each, a few cards in each. This sort of exercise where you take tarot and apply it to something that is decidedly not tarot can really help you expand your meaning, bond with the deck, and give you a chance to see your cards in a new way. So this is my sweet pile. And for this, I chose things like 9 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, 10 of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the 9 of Cups. All of these are like open, kind, sweet, happy experiences, that sort of thing. For my salty cards, I chose things that are sort of building blocks, necessary, solid, grounded. I was thinking more like kind of salt to the earth kind of things, flavor enhancing, but simple. I chose Page of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, King of Wands, Temperance, and Strength. These cards to me represent things that are really necessary for a healthy life, essentially. So strength, both having resilience and our maturity, being involved in strength and sort of diving into our shadows without fear. Temperance, bringing us back between the extremes. The King of Wands, I think, is real good at burning away things that aren't working for us. The Queen of Pentacles, this is just, to me, the saltiest card because it's the most earthy, nurturing of life. And so definitely salt. We gotta have salt. Our bodies need salt. And Page of Swords is all about learning as an aspect of, sprinkle a little learning on things and everything tastes a little bit better. Okay, this is my bitter pile. This is the cards that are like sad or hard or challenging all on their own. I've got the Tower. I've got the Knight of Cups. Because this personality traits, they'll love you and leave you. And I find that to be kind of a bitter taste in my mouth. 5 of Pentacles and 3 of Swords. So for me, that's what bitter stands for. The ones that I don't love the flavor of these cards. And my last one is sour. And for me, I decided that sour meant things that, and like people and experiences that like heighten. Like I love sour. And so for me, a sour flavor is a good flavor, but it's maybe big. You don't want too much of it, but it really heightens things. So for this one, I chose Judgment, the Devil, and the aspect of like liberation out of the Devil was what I was thinking. The Queen of Swords and the 7 of Cups. So for these, my thinking was, life's options and daydreaming, strength in personality and honesty and directness, liberation, or actually indulgence too. If you want to go on it more of like a healthy indulgence, that's kind of a nice little sour flavor as well. And Judgment, finding your call and authenticity. So again, you get to decide what the categories mean and what cards go in them. You don't have to explain it to anybody. This is just for you, but do your whole deck into these flavor categories. For this last exercise, you are going to use your cards to make a meal. You're going to choose 1 or more cards for each course of a meal. And I chose appetizers, side dishes, entrees, and desserts. So you'll pick 1 or more cards for each of those. For me, appetizers are like tasty bites, but they work well with the entree. The entree is really like a big, energetic, filling, nourishing card. The side dishes are also nourishing. They're accompaniments to the entree, so it could be supportive cards. And then the dessert is a delicious finish after all that work. So I've got 2 meals to show you for my example. The first one, my entree, is Justice. And to go along with that, I thought we would have sides of the Empress and the Queen of Swords. These 2 cards, I think, as sides to the entree of Justice, are a support to that. You're going to need to be fully in your sovereignty and probably have really good boundaries and an ability for truth-telling if you're going for justice as your main dish. For an appetizer, I decided to actually choose 2, and I have the 6 of Pentacles, because to me that's actually just like a reflection of justice, because it's about fair give and take. So let's start by doing a little bit of charity, a little give and take, a little awareness of what justice looks like. And I also chose the 4 of Swords as a bit of a warm-up to justice, because something restful, clearing your mind, a calm mind will help you move into your sovereignty and into that meal of, that entree of justice. And then for dessert, after all of this, I chose 3 of Cups, which to me represents a healthy community, friendship, and love between people. So there's our meal number 1. I've got one more for you. In this meal, our entree is the High Priestess. So self-awareness, learning to trust, diving in, doing some growth, some self-reflection. And so I chose for sides for this one, I actually chose 3 side dishes to go along with the High Priestess. And again, these are all supports. So I chose the Hangman. You're going to need to slow down, to be patient, and to see things in a new way if you're going to dive into your inner life. The Queen of Cups would be a big help here, a really nourishing side dish to the High Priestess, because she will care for your emotional state as you do this work, as you dive into your shadow and poke around in your psyche. And I brought in the 6 of Cups as a side dish as well, because I imagine in all of this work, you are probably going to be looking into your past. So let's have the 6 of Cups come in. For your appetizer, I chose the Hermit. So start your meal. If the end of the meal, the big moment is the entree of the High Priestess, start your meal with the Hermit to give yourself that introspection, that calm, get yourself in the right place to do this deep dive. And then for dessert, have to be strategic yet again. For dessert, I chose Queen of Pentacles, because after all of that, after that big meal of diving deep into your own self, I think you deserve some self-care. And the Queen of Pentacles is all about nurturing, caring for your body. You've been in your mind a lot here and in your emotions. Let's take care of your body. So for dessert, to finish that meal, a little self-care, care for your body, nurture yourself after all of that. I would love to know if you try any of these, or if you're already doing these or something like them. Give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more about learning to read tarot and tarot for empowerment and for transformation. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.